Oh, there's something in my eye, but I just put sanitizer on, so I'm a little worried. Okay. Yes. Okay. I went to lunch late. So basically I was trying to solve this software thing that this guy, I think he's the IT manager, like created like 13 years ago. Yeah. And so we had a meeting on Tuesday, I think, with him showing kind of how to do it. And I actually dabbled in doing it, learning how to use this a year ago, and then I just stopped because I did what I needed to do, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. So yeah, but then now somebody else is asking about it, so I'm trying to figure it out now again, and I'm asking this guy for help and stuff, and we're like emailing and stuff, but then this guy, I was thinking the same thing, but this guy was, I'm thinking he was thinking like, this whole sending long emails and stuff back and forth is just like too slow. So then he chatted me, and then we've been like chatting and stuff, and yeah, I think I got my thing figured out. Like we were just doing like a test sample run and stuff, but yeah, but our conversation is like kind of funny, honestly, because like, I don't know. So basically he was helping me like print like a label with this like system, I guess. And I printed it, and then I'm like, wait, like where did it go? And then, because when he showed the demonstration, he like printed and then it became a PDF. So then I was like, wait, where did my thing go? Like it says it printed, but I don't know where it is. And then he's like, oh, like I think it's with wherever you set your default printer to be. So then I walked over to the printer, and then there was a piece of paper with the thing I wanted printed on there. So then I messaged him, and I'm like, oh, it printed on a sheet of paper. Yeah. And then I googled on the internet how to change your default printer, and then I changed that. Yeah. And then there's like a margin issue or something, because like part of the label was cut off. So I was like, huh? And he said that he printed it fine, and yeah, and then he sent the PDF of his printing just fine. I printed it again in the PDF format, and then I sent him a picture of that too, and then I was like, wait, your thing looks different than mine, because I edited like the template, and then I printed, so he didn't have the edited version. So I was like what? Like, why does your thing look different? Did you not update it, like refresh it? And he was like, oh yeah, I did. And then, so like I have a label with like static fields, so like they don't ever change, but then I made those like editable, and then then the guy was all like, oh, I normally don't make things that are not gonna change like on the template. I don't make them like editable. And then I was like, oh, then why did I do that for like 3 different fields? And then he was like, I don't know why. Yeah, but it's okay. So yeah, then he was like, oh, it's just more work for you. But like, since I'm done with it, the template now, it's not really, because like, I mean, it's already done, so I don't really have anything else to do with it, I think. Well, I have to try out a real order with it to see if it works, but if I can get that to work, then we're all good. So yeah, and I think I made it back in record timing. I still have 20 minutes left to eat my lunch, plus 20 more minutes because I set a 40-minute timer. So yeah. Also, I left work at 4:50, so, but I stayed I was like literally in a training for 2 hours last night. Then he chatted me, and he's like, oh, so we're supposed to do it this way now, I think. And then he was just confusing me because there's like a field that he was talking about, but it wasn't actually there. And yeah, and then he was like, oh, I guess everything I just chatted about is irrelevant, and I just confused you more. I was like, that's okay. But yeah, but then there's just so much going on with this chain, and yeah, people in this email chain are contradicting each other, and I'm just so lost. Yeah, and then I'm chatting the guy I was chatting with before, because like we thought we had it figured out. So then I chatted him, and I'm like, okay, wait, so this is how you do it. And then he was like, what? Yeah. And then I was like, well, that's what it said in the email chain, right? And he was like, honestly, I hate that email chain. And honestly, me too, because it's literally getting us nowhere. this meeting today at 11 o'clock to figure out this like whole like label template formatting thingy and stuff. So basically I've been working on this like internal system we have to get labels easier to print. So you just type in the order number and then it auto pulls up the template and then you just click print and then it's good. So I've been doing that and stuff, and I've been working with this IT guy to get this figured out and stuff, and he's been helping me, and we got it all figured out, but then people are confusing me with what information has to actually be loaded on the label and just, yeah. So today we had a meeting at 11 o'clock to talk about this, and in this meeting I'm like chatting the IT guy and the meeting was supposed to be like 11 to 11:30. That's what it is penciled out on in like Google Calendar. And I'm like chatting this guy in the meeting because like I don't know, I'm kind of bored in this meeting, to be honest. And then people are like, oh, we can't have like characters I, O, and U in this like string because, you know, I represents like a 1, it can get confused, O and 0, and U, I don't know why U, but as I'm chatting this guy, it's like 11:45 now, and I'm like, uh-oh, like we have a problem. I'll talk to you after this meeting unless you want to go to lunch, because I mean, I'm not gonna hold this guy hostage from going to lunch. So and then he's like, it's okay, I'll wait. And then I'm like, I feel bad that he's waiting. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go on a quick little break, and then and I'm like, okay, maybe by the time you're done with your break I'll be out of my meeting. And then he chatted like 10 minutes later and he's like, I guess not. So then I'm like, wait, you're done already? So then I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, like when are you going to lunch? And he's like, I normally go like 12 to 1ish or so, depends on the day. And and then I'm like, oh, like I don't want to hold you from lunch, like go, it's okay, I can meet with you after you come back or after I come back. And but then he had a meeting at 2 to 4 and I have a meeting at 4 to 5, so like it doesn't really work out. So then I'm like, okay, like I'm just gonna leave this meeting right now, like whatever. So then I left the meeting and then I went to go to his cubicle, and then I showed him this like document, how it says you can't have I, O, or U, and he's like, oh, that's like strange, I guess, why they have U, but I and O I get, but but then he quickly like programmed or something, because he's a comp sci major, he like programmed to like get rid of those 3 characters, and he's like, okay, it works now. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And then I carried on, and then he went to lunch. Then I went to go have the operator try and print these labels for me, and make sure they're okay and stuff. And then her computer was not getting the newest version of this like internal program we use. And then I was like, how, like I don't know what to do. So then we used a different computer, and then it worked. So this IT guy got back from lunch, and then I chatted him, and I'm like, oh, like we're having a problem on the computer and stuff. And and then he's like, okay, I can come if we're still having a problem. And then I'm like, okay, I'm coming over. So then I went to his desk area to pick him up, and then we went over, and then then he fixed it, and then he explained why it wasn't working, because there was like some missing files in the folder that the version was looking for, but it was not there. I'm not a coder or comp sci person, so I don't really know, but but then he fixed it. And it's 2:06 p.m. and I just got to my car for lunch because crazy things are happening, I guess. Like basically I'm trying to figure out how to print a label, but people aren't telling me the right things, like so I know what to print on it. And then people are telling me contradicting things, and then I'm like, like, who do I listen to? And then I went with Quality to go into the office area and talk to somebody, and then it just so happened that they came out at the same time, so we were just talking about that. Yeah. And then we went to my desk to discuss this, and then we went to go talk to somebody else about this, and then we went to go talk to somebody else about this, and then we went to go talk to somebody else again, and then just running around back and forth for literally like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours straight, like going back and forth talking to a whole bunch of different people, with people saying a whole bunch of different things, and it's just very contradicting and confusing. And then I thought we were settled on what we were gonna do, and then somebody now is saying, oh, we don't want to do it that way. So like, what? So yeah, great. Also, one more thing. I was sitting at my desk, like, about ready to go to lunch, and then somebody comes up to me from the quoting team, and she's like, guess what? I have great news. And I was like, oh no, like, what? And then she's like, you have a new account. So, great. But another interesting thing is, the guy who sits next to me, yesterday, he said, he's like, do we have like a IT help desk? And then I was like, actually we do, because when I mentioned in like previous, how the IT manager guy that I was chatting and stuff told me that he made a ticket under my name. Yeah. And then he gave me the link, like, cause I was like, how do you do that? And then he gave me the link to how to access the IT help desk portal thing. So then I told the guy who sits next to me how to access it. And then he's like, oh, I didn't know that existed. And I was like, I didn't know either. So yeah, then I asked this other guy who I'm close with, and then I asked him if he knew about it, and he said he didn't know either. And then today I did another survey. I asked 3 other people, and none of them knew where it was. So I'm not the only one who didn't know that this IT help desk thing, service thing existed. Yeah. But that kind of says something about like the IT people, like nobody knows that this thing exists, which is not the greatest, but yeah. I asked someone else today if they knew where the IT help desk, service desk thing, portal to submit tickets was, and they said they didn't know. And they've been here for I think like 12 years. So yeah, but then I asked somebody else, and then they said, oh, I think there was an email about it. And then I was like, what? And then they found the email and then forwarded it to me eventually, like a couple hours later. But yeah, but a lot of people still don't know about it. But yeah.